Well, there are two vacancies. One is an administrative assistant, and the other is another student success specialist. We brought on one student success specialist about 2.5 months ago, Miss Johnson, she hit the ground running. We were able to get her from another charter school where she's working with K-12, and she came aboard. And we role played what the position was like. So she had an opportunity to do what we called it was the Wizard of Oz. So she went she traveled through the different kind of experiences that you have as a student success specialist, and had live presentations from different staff. She felt that it went well, and it helped her as she moved into actually working with the students. I think that's it for me. I'm available to answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you. No questions on my end.
Thank you, Mr. Gore.
Oh, you're welcome.
Miss Ray may be having technical.
Yep, no,
Oh.
I'm good. So I was trying to get off mute, sorry. We'll go to A&T.
Sounds good.
You got it.
Oh, I do have it.
So while the PowerPoint is queuing, I can just start with some of our announcements. The summer program is ready to launch. It starts July 11th through the 18th. There are 10 offerings. Students already have their schedules. All the students are already enrolled into Aztec. We're going to be maximizing the use of Aztec to track student gains in ELA and math. All of the faculty and all of the interventionists have access to Aztec. So we'll able to speak on the same level with the same access about student gains and individual student data. There's some drop-in technology workshops that are planned. There's also an academic lab that is planned so that students who are in need of additional support, they have that option. They're also going to be using the academic lab time to make progress or spend time using Aztec as an intervention. The two partnerships for the summer, one is with CityWorks, and that will be 15 to 20 students coming. They'll be taking MOS and CompTIA. I believe there's also a DOES partnership with 20 to 30 students. For the summer, we are continuing to ensure that all of the syllabi are standardized. The summer PD calendar has been generated. So we're maximizing the time that we have for PD. In terms of the TABE assessments, since our last meeting, 12 students have taken the post-TABE. We also have some students who are taking the TABE they're taking the post-TABE twice, and they're using that data to track their gains. And faculty members have held conferences to talk about how much they've grown since the last time that they're TABE. There's a video out so that expresses the importance of having students to TABE and trying to overcome any of that test anxiety. And we have a lot of faculty who will be starting next week. There are some internal promotions. So Ms. Davis, who was a student and then an intern, is now a learning facilitator in MOS. Mr. Victor Sims, who was a CompTIA faculty member, I'm sorry, a student, then a CompTIA faculty member, is now the CTE coordinator. Ms. Harris, who was a student And then a facilitator is now the assessment coordinator. Mr. Kuther will be joining us as a part-time GED instructor. Monsita Davis is the assessment assistant. Mr. John Tutt is joining us as a part-time interventionist. Mr. Queen, a former student, is now joining us as a part-time CompTIA faculty member. Mr. Bradley Lewis is joining as a full-time interventionist, and Mr. Sickles is going to be a part-time HVAC instructor. There's 76 students that need to post-TABE in order to make the 60% baseline, so we're going to continue testing them during the summer, so we can reduce the 76 to as much as possible to get rid of those last 76. The other thing that we came up with is looking at the website so that we could have teacher pages on the website, and then students would be able to access the Google Classroom from one click from the website. So that's just something we're brainstorming and planning to see if we could get that implemented. From a technology standpoint, it's very easy. A teacher page is just an introduction to that facilitator, what the course is about. And then to the left of it, it will be a link to the Google Classroom. And so this is one of the strategies that we think is going to improve engagement. It's going to improve the virtual attendance and hopefully get them in the building as well, but it'll definitely impact those two outcomes.
This is Ashley. I just wanted to interject and say that I think that's a wonderful idea, the upgrades to the website. Anything to support accessibility, I think is a step in the right direction, but I think that's also really neat too, just to have a public space to kind of also acknowledge the folks that are working to support our mission as well.
Yes. Edlio has two other features, but we all haven't had a chance to talk about it yet. So we're gonna, when we get back in the building, try to talk about the other features that Edlio has. But they have an app that every student can download to their phone, but it's a cost to that. So we're trying to figure that out and discuss it. But it'll also allow SMS and text notifications from the website.
Very cool. All right, we look forward to going over those additional costs as well.
Okay.
Are there any other questions for Dr. Boxley? And I neglected to formally, you guys have met Dr. Boxley, but Dr. Boxley, this is her first board meeting. So Dr. Boxley, thank you for being here and thank you for stepping up to the challenge and leading our A&T division. And we will, is there someone here to represent operations? Should we expect the ops report? No, I know Dr.
Right now, the financials have not made, they're still running into a conflict with QuickBooks and United Bank download. So Michael's still trying to get that squared away, so we don't have any financials.
Okay, I know, guys, just for a notification, the EdOps, well, I think what has also complicated it is both Michael and Vanessa have been on vacation for 2 weeks. And I want to talk to EdOps about when, I don't care if they go on vacation, but somebody needs to step in for them when they're both on vacation at the same time. We've had no accounting support for the last 2 weeks as a result of them both being on vacation. So want to make sure they understand that, Jones. Let's send an email to that effect. And can you share the agenda again, please?
Yeah, background noise coming from.
It's a what you call the background? Fake. It's actually a restaurant called Dewey Destin.
Okay.
We're
Can you,
development report. Oh, that's probably me. Development report. We are moving along swell with the civic builders process. We have resolved all of their questions, and there was a new one today that we're working on right now. Dr. Henry and his team have done a really good job of explaining enrollment and our numbers. They were impressed by our site visit, but concerned at the same time about the numbers of students that they did or did not see in the space. We know that's a problem, but we've been able to explain that. And there are no outstanding data requests now, with one exception, which is around the RFP process for our development team. They don't see it as a problem, but they want to make sure they have the proper narrative around that. So we've asked Jones to pull the list of interested bidders from our RFP process for our development team. And if you guys remember, we had, I think, 3 interested parties and only one ended up submitting in the end. So they want to just verify that process and that it was done with integrity. So other than that, we've got, you guys know, our OSSI $2 million gap funding was approved. The OSSI has sent over their term sheet, and that was a prerequisite for civic builders closing. So we believe that we are well on our way to get civic builders financing closed in July, and our permitting process should align perfectly with that. So we should be in the ground this summer. So I'm really excited about the opportunities that we presented, and we're getting there. So one last question to jump, and we'll be fine. Are there any questions of me on development? And I'm sorry, is Webster on the line? I didn't say well you, she's not, okay. So I guess development and space planning go together as old business, Jones? Yes, okay. New business. We have 2 action items under new business. The first, is to approve our 2023 calendar. The
Ms.
calendar.
Moxley is prepared to do an overview.
Okay, let's go, Doc.
I'm gonna give an overview of the calendar. Are we at the calendar or are we still on the budget part?
The calendar.
Okay. Did you want me to try to share my screen so we could all look at it?
You should have a bit, oh, let me stop my share, sorry. Okay.
Share. Oh God, I got so much. Don't you love it when they have the multiple screens? And I'm sorry. Okay, this is it.
It's okay.
It was every file except for the not file. Okay, the calendar for the upcoming school year. This is just a summary of that. I'm going to start at the top and then go down. There was a need to flesh out the student days and separate them from the teacher days, and also to calculate the cumulative teacher days. So in September, you'll see the different student days in the month with 12 versus the 20 teacher days. In October, you'll see the amount of student days so that the instructional days are separate from the amount of days in each month. December is here, January and February. And then here are the totals. So although the teacher days total 227, there was a need to flesh out the cumulative student days so that they exceed 180, but not too much of exceeding 180. So this will build in 6 days that could be bad weather or any other emergencies. The instructional calendar is here. For the fall session, it will be from September 12th through March 24th. There are approximately 113 days in the fall session. There are 53 days in the spring session from March 27th to June 24th. In the summer session of 2023, that summer session will start on July 18th and end on August 17th. And that's the summary of the total of 186 days. The paid holidays are here. Juneteenth is recorded. The winter break in February is here. Spring break is there. The delineation of all the professional development days are here. There are a total of 21 professional development days. Generally, there's one PD day per month, except March has 2 and July has 7. August will have 3. The board meeting dates are here from August until June. The rejuvenation days have changed slightly. So rather than this week being a rejuvenation week, next year, July 5th through the 8th will be the rejuvenation week. And that's the summary of the calendar updates.
Are there any questions for Dr. Boxley on calendar? All right, hearing none.
This summary really quickly. Seeing the summary, I know we worked through the actual, we'll look through the actual calendar during an earlier meeting this week. Jones, would you happen to know if those additional months were captured in the new calendar? I know we were missing, I think, but July and August. There was
Yes.
a formatting issue.
Yes, yep,
Okay.
yes. This summary right here would be around the same summary that would be submitted to the charter board.
All right, cool beans. Appreciate you.
If there are no other questions around the calendar, I'll entertain a motion to accept the calendar as presented.
So moved. Ooh,
I'm
well,
going to
that,
accept it. I'm going to accept it from Mr. Mitchell, and the second from, is that Davis?
Yes, ma'am.
Excellent.
Yolanda,
Roll call. Yep, thank you.
that Mitchell,
I accept.
Davis,
Aye.
Washington,
Aye.
and Ray.
I don't vote. There's no tie. All right, unanimous vote to approve the calendar as accepted. The next vote item is our budget that the Finance Committee has approved and is submitting to the body for full approval. Are there any questions regarding the budget as submitted in your board booklet package?
No.
Okay, having heard none, I'll entertain a motion to accept.
So moved.
Been moved by Mr. Washington. Is there a second?
I second.
Second by Ms. Mitchell. All in favor, say aye. Ms. Jones, roll call.
Warren. Davis,
Aye.
Levon,
Aye.
and Mitchell.
Aye.
Excellent, thank you. And Joe, will you share the agenda again, or was that the last item in new business?
That was the last item.
Excellent. Are there any other discussions that we need to have as a board, guys?
I'd just like to say, as Mr. Gore transitions out of his role, that we are ever grateful for all of the stand-in support that he's provided, his creativity, his energy, positivity, organization, all of that. Deep appreciation for you. Thank you so much for filling the gap when we were in sore need.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Absolutely second that
opportunity.
emotion.
Thank you.
Mr. Gore, just for the record, will be around with us in an advisory role into next year to continue to help with transition with Mr. Begani and as well as lead some special projects for us. So thank you, Mr. Gore, for
You're
all of
welcome.
your service. He's one of our original OGs from day one. So we thank you for that.
You're welcome. Thank you all for the opportunity.
So if there are no other issues on anyone's heart, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Excellent.
So,
Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Washington. Have a good night, guys. Thanks a lot.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody. Be
Bye.
safe.
Thank you. Have a great evening.
Good holiday.